All right, cool. Let's get started here. This is the GnosisDAO Community Call for the month of April. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We're live on Twitter and we're live on YouTube. To kick things off, we're gonna, or actually, sorry, just a little housekeeping. So the format of the call will be, we'll talk about some events and upcoming talks. We'll run through ecosystem updates. Then we have a bunch of governance updates. And then we'll turn it over to Sebastian to talk about HOPR and the launch of GnosisVPN. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Carolina to talk about events.
Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm live? Yes. Thank you, John, for inviting me. So first of all, let's please talk about DAPCon. This is our own in-house conference, and we expect you all to come. So don't forget to buy your tickets. Sales are running out, so just rush if you want to participate. Also, speaking slots are closed now, and we will be sending out the last confirmations within the next few days as well. Next slide, please, John. Then before that, we will also have a participation in a few other conferences and events as well. Our next one is already next week with our Gnosis meetup in Berlin. Maybe you guys already know, but instead of doing this meetup in Lisbon all the time, this year we decided to do things a bit differently, and we are extending this to our other homes. Such as Berlin and London, like we did in March. We will have guests from Tokenize, from Hotkey as well, and this meetup will be co-hosted by Circles, so a few surprises coming up. Then on the same day, on the 18th of April, we will start our participation at Token 2049. We will be sponsoring on behalf of GnosisPay, and we will also have someone from our team talking about it on the 18th. So stay tuned with the schedule if you want to check it out. And right after, we will also have a small sponsorship at ETH Dubai. We will be offering one bounty to the hackers, and we will also have one of our DevRels, Vanchika, speaking about GnosisPay as well. Then in May, we will be having a participation with the GnosisPay founder at ETH Rio in Brazil. This is our first LATAM event this year, so we are looking forward to it. And next slide, please, John. Then obviously DAPCon. I just wanted to say that this time all units will be involved, such as GnosisPay, Gnosis Chain, Circles, and we will have a big announcement to make as well soon. So you will get to learn about it at DAPCon. And right after in June, we will also be participating in ETH Kiev. On behalf of Circles. This is the first Circles hackathon, by the way. So we are already establishing what kind of challenges are we giving away to the hackers, and yeah, exciting news. And then back in July, we will also participate at ETC, obviously, also on behalf of Circles. This will be the official big launch, actually. So we are preparing everything accordingly, and we will obviously be on stage as well. And on the same week of ETC, we will also have a few other participations, such as in the Real World Assets Summit with GnosisPay. Stefan George will be speaking about it. And to finish the week, we will also be participating at the ETH Global Brussels hackathon, as well with Circles. This will be the second hackathon that we will be part of. And I think that's it for now. Thank you, John, so much for having me.
You bet. Thank you so much, Carolina. And next up, we're going to jump into the Gnosis ecosystem. And we have Jorge from the SAFE team on the call. Let me just add Jorge to the stage here. And go for it, Jorge.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Thanks for having me here. So I'm Jorge from the SAFE team. And for today's update, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The first update from the SAFE side is the SAFE DAO has started voting on token transferability. So the SAFE token is now up for voting on whether or not it will become transferable. That vote closes on April 15th on Snapshot. And as a result of that vote, if it does resolve to yes, the token could become live as early as April 23rd. So first call to action is if you are a SAFE token holder, please vote. Please have your voice heard in this momentous occasion. And if you have any more questions or concerns about what token transferability might mean for SAFE DAO, details are up on our blog, so blog.safe.global for details there. Secondly, SafeCon #2 is happening on May 23rd in Berlin. So SafeCon is the Safe Ecosystem's in-person event focusing on the adoption and growth of smart accounts. This is an opportunity to meet builders in the Safe ecosystem, investors, guardians, really, a whole host of interesting people that are building within the ecosystem and beyond. It's happening on May 23rd. Yes, we know it's at the end of DAppCon. We unfortunately, based on scheduling and just logistics with the venue, we had to do it on the last day of DAppCon. That said, it is right across the river, so if you have talks that you want to see from different people, it should be pretty easy to get between the two venues. So please check us out at conf.safe.global. Tickets are free. We'd love to see you there. We'll be joined by really great sponsors and speakers this year, which we'll be announcing in the next week or so. And finally, just kind of on the heels of a few updates around the SAFE DAO and other kind of growth metrics, we're excited to say that we've just crossed the 8 million mark for safes created. So really, this is a testament to the builders and everybody that has both created safes on the Safe Wallet interface, but also all the partners that are building safe smart accounts as the center of their self-custodial setup for their users. So big kudos to a lot of people on this call. We're over 100 billion in assets, so we're really excited to keep building and keep bringing smart accounts to the masses with all of you here. So thanks everybody, and yeah, hope to see you in Berlin. If not, with that, I'll hand it back to John. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Jorge, and what an exciting time for the Safe DAO. And yeah, we'll see you all in Berlin. Next up, we have Alex from the Cow team to give us an update. And let me just add you to the stage here, Alex. All right, you are live.
Hello, thank you, John. Thank you for having me. So I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet, like Jorge, because there are more interesting talks coming after. So from the Cow protocol and product side, or Cow swap as well, there are kind of 6 main updates that I want to share with you. One, I guess, is more for CowDAO, not Cow protocol, but yesterday marked the first official day that MEP Blocker is charging fees to builders to access its order flow. Currently, there are only 3 builders subscribed that are willing to pay for the order flow to actually then have an edge over other builders in the way that they construct block. And basically, the fee is a fee paid by the builders to CowDAO. That is 20% of the value of the transactions from MEP Blocker. And this way, we're aiming to actually boost development and marketing efforts, and while also keeping the RPC free for users. Then also related to, I guess, the Gnosis side of things, which are in this call, last week we had this important program going live with GnosisDAO and with help of Karpatki. Basically, it's a 6 months reward program where it's been committing around $200K for solvers to get rewards on Gnosis chain. So before it was harder to can get better prices because there were no incentives to actually improve the solver landscape in Gnosis chain, and there was maybe not as much volume. But with the recent growth and with the recent efforts from Karpathy and Gnosis to improve this, there's now a program for rewarding like the solvers that are there. Then also on the other side of things, in regards to KMM, we actually, from the grants now, launched this Safe app that allows you to very easily, with a very beautiful interface, to deploy your own KMM. And for those who don't know, KMM is the first MEV capturing AMM that helps you get protected from LBR, which is an kind of like the evolution of impermanent loss, but with a more fancier term and like now with some academia behind. And also we recently launched new feature for limit orders. We allows you to basically place limit orders with amounts larger than that you have in your wallet. This has been a weighted feature for people because they would want to, for example, like if you want to bet on the price of something that you've had in the past, but you're waiting on something to trigger before actually like having the funds, you couldn't do it because we would check the balance and we wouldn't let you. But now basically if you had just, I think it's 0.0000001 of that token, you can place the limit order without any restrictions. And then two more things from the product side. We're also driving a big push around the CowSwap widget. It allows anyone to actually get all the innovations and benefits from Cow protocol with just a few clicks. And not only that, it also allows you to deploy very easily your own Safe app within the Safe ecosystem. Then this way, it's much easier to kind of develop your dApp, your trading dApp, or embed any type of swapping capabilities within the Safe. And lastly, we had this fantastic and April Fool's animation where we allowed users to click on the I'm feeling lucky, and then it would do a random selection of meme tokens and it would propose a trade for them that actually like a lot of people really liked and used, and it has been asked to keep this as a permanent feature. So let's see, maybe we keep it. And then on the next slide for the DAO updates. So we've had recently CowDAO has had three important proposals. One was the MEV blocker fees, which obviously passed. All of them passed, but basically was establishing that from yesterday onwards, CowDAO would charge MEV blocker fees for the builders. Then the CIP41, which was the claim and delegation of the CowDAO's allocation for the Shelter Network token. And then lastly was enhancing the treasury usage, because this proposal redirects the allocation of the Safe tokens after transferability is enabled, and also redirects all either USDC from the CowDAO safes to the treasury safe for active management that actually like Karpathy is helping the DAO conduct. And this is all I have for today. Thank you for having me, as always.
Thank you, Alex. And yeah, you build so fast it can be hard to keep up with everything that's going on over at the CowDAO. So thanks for the update. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Okay, I need to manage the slides really quickly, so please give me 1 second. I'm going to play a little bit of music, and I will be back in a flash. Perfect. Next up, we have Igor, who's going to give us an update on Gnosis chain and all things infrastructure. So let me bring Igor up to the stage here. All right, Igor, you are live. Go for it, sir.
Hello, everyone. So on Gnosis Chain side, currently we have huge progress on bringing Geth client to the Gnosis chain. So Guilherme was able to sync the client up to the Dankun blocks. So we expect Geth client to be available for use for Gnosis chain validators soon. Also, we are working on smoothing the user experience of validators using the dApp node for those who would like to support client diversity. For example, we working currently on fixing some small issues with Aragon and Tiku clients. And on top of that, currently we are working on preparing to the next hard fork, which is Spectra, which is going to be very huge in terms of adding new features. And we are currently working on proposal to make Gno the native token on Gnosis chain, but it's currently in progress. And there are small step forward with the Shutter protocol. So validator client is currently available. It still have some issues, but it's available for test and for the use. So we hope that soon it will be finalized. And I guess that's all I have. Back to you, John.
Cool. Thank you, Igor. And I also want to note that Gnosis Chain just hit a pretty big milestone, which was 200 million transactions. And that was last week. We will be publishing a blog post up on gnosis.io if you'd like to read more about that. We've also shared that across some media outlets. So pretty exciting news. Thank you, Igor. And next up, we have a bunch of governance updates. So please bear with me. It's a really exciting time in terms of proposals on the GnosisDAO forum and Snapshot. So in the interest of time, I'll try to move rather quickly because a lot of these proposals are somewhat complicated. But if you're keen to get an overview of DAO governance with Gnosis, then this is a good moment to do so. Right now, up on the Gnosis forum, we have 3 posts, 2 at GIPs and 1 post from Karpaki. So let me just move through these numerically, starting with GIP 99. This is the most recent GIP that was published. Should Gnosis Guild steward GnosisDAO governance? So the Gnosis Guild proposes to steward GnosisDAO governance, guiding a new phase of innovation, experimentation, and growth. As GnosisDAO continues allocating resources to Gnosis Chain, Gnosis Pay, and other mission-aligned ventures, Gnosis Guild will drive the DAO's governance strategy and operations through dedicated R&D, technical implementation, and ongoing stewardship. This proposal is in phase 2, and in about a month, it will go to Snapshot, where you can vote on it. Next up is GIP 98. We have Sebastian on the call, so Sebastian will talk more about this proposal, but I'll give you a quick overview of it. Should GnosisDAO invest in HOPR to kickstart development of GnosisVPN? Gnosis would invest into HOPR to build GnosisVPN, a truly private and decentralized VPN on top of the HOPR mixnet. To increase GnosisDAO's oversight, this effort will be split into two: proposal and a follow-up proposal for further development after initial work has been presented within 9 months. And then Karpaki recently posted an update about factors HOPR and OLAS allocations and what they're doing with it. So their strategic plan involves establishing a COW FM AMM liquidity pools with both of these tokens to foster a long-term partnership with the respective projects, HOPR and OLAS. Additionally, they aim to reinforce the community by relocking a significant portion of the DAO's OLAS tokens. In parallel, Karpaki will leverage another portion of the funds to execute strategic buybacks of GNO to strengthen the ecosystem over time. Moving on to Snapshot, we have GIP 93. Should GnosisDAO support the integration of Hashi within Gnosis Chain's canonical bridges? This was passed. And we published a blog post about this. We broadcasted this across many media outlets. Basically, it's integrating the ZK light client across all of Gnosis Chain's canonical bridges. So greatly enhancing the security of Gnosis Chain's bridges. All right, and then this batch of proposals, GIP 94 through 96, all have to do with onboarding into Centrifuge Prime. So if you're familiar with GIP 91, which was posted earlier or late 2023 and passed, so that proposal had to do with basically giving the GnosisDAO exposure to RWAs through Centrifuge. So these follow-up proposals all have to do with finalizing the onboarding into Centrifuge Prime. So I won't go through all of them because they're quite complex, but that's the high-level summary of those GIPs. If you'd like to learn more, please visit the GnosisDAO forum. And again, all of these proposals passed quorum, so they will be implemented. And the last GIP we have is GIP 97. Karpaki and SafeDAO. This has to do with a joint treasury delegation between SafeDAO and the GnosisDAO. With the SafeDAO having achieved all milestones laid out in SEP number 3 and approaching its token transferability, Karpaki proposes to delegate treasury management of the joint SafeDAO and GnosisDAO treasury to Karpaki. All right, thanks for sticking with me there. And we are moving on now to a discussion with Sebastian about HOPR and the Gnosis launch of GnosisVPN. Let me add Sebastian to the stage here. Sebastian, you are live.
Thanks, John.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, John. And hi to everyone. Just very quickly on HOPR, if you haven't heard about HOPR before. So I'm Sebastian, founder of HOPR. We work on privacy. And specifically, we work on transport layer privacy, so to send data privately from A to B, which complements other initiatives on the on-chain privacy side. And you might say, okay, data transport, sending data privately from A to B, how would I actually use that, right? So HOPR has in the past worked on private RPC services, and we are now focusing on VPNs, and that's something we will talk about in some more detail. So next slide, please, John. I wanted to give an overview on, how would you look at this ecosystem real quickly of VPN providers there. So I look at anonymity and decentralization, and on this kind of map, I would map out some solutions. So let's look at the first one, John. So the first one is basically normal kind of secure web / P2P traffic, which is neither anonymous nor decentralized, right? So that means that anybody can link the websites that you visit, the apps that you use, and the services that you interact with to your IP address. that can track and harvest that information and use it against you. That's kind of uncool, but that's how the Web 2.0 works today. Of course, there's some solutions. So next one, John, please. Some of you might use a VPN, right? NordVPN or ExpressVPN or whatever. And they're a bit more anonymous in that the web server cannot see your IP address anymore. But still, they're totally decentralized. You're trusting a single web server to not expose you. That's not great. So John, next one, please. There's something which is a bit better, which is called multi-hop VPN. So some of you might be familiar with Proton VPN, which allows you to route traffic via multiple VPN servers, which makes it a bit harder to track you, right? So it makes it a bit harder to link who is talking to who. But it's still, it's centralized to one provider typically, which is, not really any improvement on decentralization. And finally, next one again, please. There is Tor, which some of you might be familiar with, which is surprisingly to some, also not really decentralized. So it is, there's a handful of parties that sign off on this list of Tor nodes, which you can then use to access the internet in a somewhat more anonymous fashion with, for example, the Tor browser that some of you might be familiar with. And then there is, next one again, please. There's decentralized VPNs. So the VPNs are kind of cool. They try to explore the second dimensions of how can we decentralize VPNs, but actually, in a decentralized VPN, you're just routing your traffic via some other person's DAP node or whatever node at home, which is not really a great trust assumption. So on that map, we are proposing to build, next one, John, please, to build GnosisVPN. So GnosisVPN tries to bring the best from both sides, to bring anonymity and decentralization to VPN users. So it is much more anonymous, even than Tor, by routing traffic through the underlying HOPR mixnet, which is operated by individuals that relay and mix up traffic that flows across the internet. And that already suggests it's highly decentralized, relying on individual node runners that are, you guessed it, running on top of Gnosis chain. And we heard some updates from Safe, which is really cool because actually every HOPR node deploys also a safe. So every HOPR node is actually a safe. And with that one, I come to the actual proposal on the next slide. And that is GIP 98. So we're proposing here to align HOPR and the Gnosis ecosystem even closer. So as I mentioned, we're already very active users on Gnosis chain. We are leveraging, obviously, the bridges, and we are leveraging Safe. So here the proposal is that we build a new product in the Gnosis ecosystem. You probably have all seen the Gnosis 3.0 announcement of building more active products, right? And being kind of a venture builder in this space. And we propose here to build a new product called GnosisVPN that has exactly the upsides that I just outlined and is highly aligned with Gnosis, brings traction to Gnosis chain and the ecosystem. So practically, that gives the double upside of not just product development, but funding in form of an investment in HOPR token. So it's kind of a double upside for GnosisDAO and the Gnosis ecosystem. In addition, we're asking for 500 GNO to onboard HOPR node runners, which are highly decentralized. And I just posted another post in this thread on the Gnosis forum to onboard the first 500 HOPR node runners as validators on Gnosis chain, which I think makes Gnosis chain even more decentralized, which is something that I find actually very cool in bringing resilient infrastructure through decentralization and privacy. And yeah, if you have questions, feel free to bring it up on the forum. There's a very active discussion and active voting, as you see here in the screenshot. Happy to engage anyone and answer questions. And yeah, I'd be grateful for your support here. And if we move to the next phase 3 in Snapshot, I would also be grateful for your support in Snapshot. That's it. Thanks for having you. Back to John.
Thank you, Sebastian. And just to let you know, GIP 98 is in phase 2. It closes in 5 days. Phase 3 is when that vote goes to Snapshot and you can vote on chain. So please exercise your right to vote and join us in participating in DAO governance by casting your vote on Snapshot. So thank you, Sebastian. Sebastian also joined us last week for an AMA, and it was really great. The recording is up on YouTube, so please, if you have any outstanding questions, you can check out that video, or you can post on the forum, and we can talk to you there. So thank you, Sebastian, and we're going to wrap it up here. Yeah, please join us on the Gnosis forum. If you're not already in our Discord, please join us there. You can access our developer docs and check out our ecosystem at gnosischain.world. We also have a bunch of analytics up on the beacon.gnosischain.com. Or if you're interested in securing Gnosis Chain, you can become a validator. All you need is 1 GNO, and the process is super easy. You could use a DApp node, which is basically a one-click solution, and that get you up and running for not a ton of money. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, for making the time, and we will see you on chain and hopefully see you in Berlin for DAppCon. We'll see you next time on the GnosisDAO Community Call in May. It always takes place in the second week of each month on a Thursday at 4 p.m. UTC. So take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great month.